good job. That was a Deion Sanders, Colorado-esque type rise up the rankings like they had last year before falling apart. So, yeah, I'm all for Luka and Kyrie. And that
surprisingly, upset of the year.
Kyrie moving into I kind of like that guy. I'm okay with him. I don't know where that's coming from. Have to reevaluate my whole life. But Dallas 123-93 over the Clippers last night, and Boston just absolutely drilled that's one where you're just like in the season. Like I don't even know if you should have been in the playoffs, but in the season and get done with this and figure out Miami's in a situation where they're going to have to kind of similar to the Lakers, a little bit different, but similar in the fact that they're going to have to make some big decisions on what they want to do. The Lakers have D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis. D'Angelo Russell does as a player option, but what they want to do with kind of two of their big three, while their third is just kind of sitting there now, still good.
56 days.
But not himself.
We're on the clock. Well, slightly different. I mean, the Lakers are in a better spot. I think LeBron is in a better spot physically and his game-wise than Jimmy Butler, even though he's older. Jimmy Butler's physicality has sort of deteriorated, and Jimmy's never been a guy who was going to really beat you with his shot or his athleticism. His game was basically, I try harder than you.
Right. I'm up at 4 a.m. working out.
I'm working harder than you, and that's essentially what his game was. But now that his body can't really handle that, I don't know how the last stage of his career is going to be. I mean, meanwhile, LeBron he's still balling, even though he got sent home. But just really quickly, I looked this up yesterday. They lost the series 4-1. LeBron's statistics for the match for the series: 28 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2.4 steals a game.
Yeah,
he's still balling.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
It's kind of one of get him to the playoffs. You can maybe get 3 more years out of him if you could rest him. If you could get Kawhi Leonard to come in and teach now Kawhi's got a significant injury, but teach the old load management plan to LeBron, and then you just get LeBron to the playoffs, and if you can have people around him, he might be able to get you.
And that's another thing. For all of the whatever the negativity is around LeBron, he's never been a load management guy.
No.
He goes out and he plays every night.
He's the exact opposite of a load management guy. I mean, he doesn't play just every night, too. He does the Olympics and does all kinds of wild stuff. So, but
he's going home.
He is. Well, he's gone home. He's now home contemplating what's the next step of his career, and that's something that we will watch as we move through the month of May. Tonight, by the way, Milwaukee and Indiana, 6:30. And then if you want to just check it out as you're kind of heading to bed, New York and Philadelphia. I'm not real sure why they put this as the 9 o'clock game, but New York and Philadelphia at 9 o'clock tonight. That game in Philly. I did not listen to Dawn Staley yesterday, so I do not know how much they got her to talk about the Sixers, but be interested to see if she magically pops up on the sidelines there in Philly rooting on the Sixers to try and even the series and force a Game 7 against the Knicks.
I can see it happening. I'll be there for that one. I'll be there for that game.
Okay, you're going to make an effort. It means an afternoon nap.
Yes, that's true. I'm going to make an effort.
Afternoon nap for Preston Thorne. 803-404-6100, how you can weigh in this morning. I tell you what, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. Gamecock Larry will speak. We'll talk about baseball last night. 15-2. South Carolina, they fell behind 2-0. I was watching, I went, uh-oh. Maybe it's one of those. Nope, never mind. They got going. Ethan Petrie with a big night. Had a lot of fun there over at Founders Park, and now they get ready for a big series, honestly, against Missouri out in Columbia, Missouri. We'll talk about that. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Sheecha, and Jensen. It is the early game. Bill Gunner for the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder with First Palmetto Bank. I tell you what, I've used Jacob before. He helped me a couple of years ago, put me in the condo I'm in, helped get a great interest rate, helped push all the paperwork through, made it a very smooth and easy process. And now it's even easier because First Palmetto Bank, they're locally owned and operated right here in the Midlands, and that leads to quick and precise underwriting from local decision makers. So if you're thinking about buying, if you're thinking about building, if you're thinking about refinancing, today is the day to call the mortgage guru and see what interest rates, what options are available to you. First Palmetto Bank, they have an incredible no-nonsense home construction loan to fit your needs if you're thinking about building. So call Jacob Crowder today, 803-719-1005. Again, that's 803-719-1005. He's the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder. Give him a call today. Tell him Bill Gunner sent you.
Shop Road at I-77, we do have a report of an accident there. Also, I-26 westbound at exit 115 Charleston Highway there, an accident as well. As far as your forecast goes, it's going to be sunny today, 89 for the high, clouds, and 87 tomorrow. Then we see some showers and thunderstorms throughout the weekend. High of 80 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday, up to 85 with some more scattered thunderstorms on Monday. Right now, it's not too shabby, 61 on the early game.
6:18 as we get you up and get you going on your Thursday morning. Ronnie weighing in says, good morning. Counting down to the Bassmasters next week on Lake Murray. Got a couple local pros fishing. Wishing those guys well. Try your luck out with fantasy fishing. Test your knowledge. Oh, boy, fantasy fishing.
You're really trying it out.
Yeah. Yeah, Bassmasters in town. Not this weekend, but next weekend should be really cool. And maybe we'll talk more about that next week as we count down to it. But yeah, that's always really a fun event and something really cool for I guess the lake area, Columbia, the Midlands, so forth and so on. And yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Thank you for that text message, and good morning to you, Ronnie. 803-404-6100. South Carolina last night, 15-2, Preston Thorne, 15-2. Your question is, are the bats heating up?
Are the bats heating up? According to some of the statistics I read, 43 runs in the last 23 innings. Messina, Petrie starting to heat up. Home runs this past game, home runs the last game. Run rules 2 in a row. What's happening?
Carolina hitting .329 with 9 home runs in the last 5 games. Last night, 4 homers in the game. Petrie getting 1 to start the game, or to start the bottom half of the first game because he'd fallen behind 2-0. He knocks one into the home bullpen there. Austin Brindling was on base, and that was a 2-run homer to tie the game. South Carolina would explode for a 8-run 4th inning that saw 3 home runs in that inning. Again, 15-2 is great, and you go, oh, man, that's a lot of money. My thing was just win the ball game, whatever it's, because you know you're going to throw a whole bunch of pitchers, and sure enough, that's exactly what South Carolina did. Jake McCoy threw 2 innings, Tyler Dean threw an inning, Chris Veach threw an inning, Connor McCurry threw an inning, Drake Quinn got an inning in there, Garrett Gainey got an inning in there. 6 different Gamecocks went to the mound last night to combine for 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, struck out 7 and walked 5.
So for you, we've entered a phase of the season where it's not how, but how many, as in how many wins. Just however we get a win, it does not matter how it comes.
The notes from Gamecocks online, the little email I get, does tell me that East Tennessee State came into the game with an RPI of 52. So that's good. But you've played enough games against, and you still got Tennessee. Georgia's not going to be a bad RPI game. The SEC is going to carry your RPI. So, winning beautifully is neat. It's great. But the goal is to win and not suffer one of these games, because yesterday, I think this was yesterday. I saw it yesterday is what I should have said. D1 Baseball put out their projections for the NCAA tournament. South Carolina was listed as a 10 seed. This is their field of 64 projection. They put out their projections. South Carolina, Preston, was listed as a 10 seed, so not on the back end. They're in there pushing up for a super regional potential spot. They're in there projected to match up with the Florida State regional, which would be kind of cool. They would go down to Florida State. But in the Gamecocks Columbia regional right now, this is again according to D1 Baseball, they had a projection with Coastal Carolina coming to town. That'd be kind of crazy. Georgia Tech and USC Upstate.
Well, that'd be interesting to see. Coastal obviously getting swept last weekend. We'll see what they're talking about. I haven't paid attention to the other teams in the region, but the biggest thing you said was the Columbia region,
right?
And so that's the most important part.
And again, going back to what I was saying is, they're listed as a 10 seed. They're not 14, 15, 16, where they're right there on the bubble. This has them firmly in as a hosting ball club, which is one of the stipulations everybody said for Mark Kingston, and here he's got them right there with 3 SEC series to go and then 1 midweek game at Winthrop. But, yeah, just win these midweek games. Don't have something on the resume that's a little pimple in there that kind of muddies up the resume. And then do what you got to do in conference play coming down the stretch. Take advantage of a bad Missouri team in Columbia, Missouri this weekend. Win that series. Win a home series against Georgia to wrap it up. I don't know if Georgia's cheating or not. You've seen that video, right?
I did.
Got to keep an eye on that guy. Let's make sure everybody has their cell phone camera on that particular pitcher when they come to Founders Park. And then go to Tennessee and see what you can do. And if they win if they were to win all 3 series, I would assume that they would have no problem going to Hoover, losing 2, coming home, and still being projected as a super regional type, top 8 super regional type host.
And that's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
You don't want anything depending on Hoover.
Right. No, because you, quite frankly, go, if you win a game, you win a game. If you lose, and you go home. If you end up losing one of the first ones and you go home, all right, that's fine. Get back home, rest up, and be ready to go. 803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Gamecock Larry wants to weigh in. He who did not have faith in Mark Kingston, but now they're playing well, Gamecock Larry, and you're back on the bandwagon.
Well, I tell you what, I kept telling you, play Gamecock baseball, play fundamental baseball. Don't stand up there and take a walk and then take a third call strike. Take another walk, take a third call strike. Take another walk, bases loaded, and take another third call strike. Then 3 walks didn't hit your team one bit because you struck out 3 times. I kept telling them, and I'll agree with Kingston, if we play fundamental baseball, if we play Gamecock baseball, we can play and win against anybody. Now, last night, old Gamecock dozed off. It was 6-2. Woke up 15-2. It missed all the good parts. And yesterday, I was sitting here and a tiger walked in my house. My oxygen people sent a crimson tiger out the Gamecock Larry's house to make sure he had everything set up for the month of May. Month of May. A tiger. And you know what? I'm glad I would have been kind of worried, but he had a Gamecock with him. So everything went fine, but he got me all set up. And if you give me time, friends out there will go on the spare. They know who they are. Him, Eric, and Amona. Have a good day. Rudolph.
There you go. Hey, good to hear from you, big guy there. He sounds like he's on board. Just as he says, Preston Thorne, fundamental baseball. That's what South Carolina has to do to keep rolling along.
Shout out to you, Gamecock Larry. You fell asleep because you felt like it was under control.
Yeah.
He didn't feel like he needed his services. He was like, it's 6-2. I got it under control. I'm going to take a nap.
He did say, he mentioned last night, South Carolina walked 8 times. They did strike out 6. I don't know where the happy medium on that is. In 7 innings, remember, it was a run rule game, 15-2.
Mercy rule.
Mercy rule. The skunked. They got skunked.
Listen, I just don't know when run rule started. I don't know when that happened. It was a mercy rule at one point, and now it's a run rule. It's not even a 10-run rule.
It was time for East Tennessee State to hit the road and head on back home.
The bus driver was like, "You ready? Y'all ready?"
He saw the 8-run. He saw the 8-run fourth. And was like, "I'll go crank it up. Don't worry, guys. You guys finish up. Bus will be, it'll be nice and ready for you. I'll get the popcorn popping and the movie about set up. That way, when you hop on the bus, it'll be a comfortable trip home." And South kind of rolls through that. 803-404-6100. How you can weigh in, Preston. If Jennifer over there is the minister of no fun, what could DJ Swearinger be for the University of South Carolina? The minister of swag? Might be time to bring DJ home. We'll talk about this. Tough day for DJ, but maybe something's in the future for him there. We'll get with that and tell you about DJ Swearinger when we come back. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Sheehan Jensen. It's the early game.
Might be a little bit of patchy, dense fog out there this morning. Kind of hearing about that. I-20, both east and westbound at exit 51, Longs Pond Road. Just be cautious there. Low beam headlights, if you would. Shop Road at I-77, an accident, as well as I-26 westbound at exit 115. That would be Charleston Highway. And as far as your forecast goes, it is going to be sunny today, up to 89, 87 tomorrow, and then showers and thunderstorms throughout the weekend and into Monday. But it's a nice start to your Thursday. Hard to believe we are already to Thursday. It is 61 on the early game.
.34 as we get you going here on your Thursday morning. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you're enjoying a nice morning before, as Jen just said, it gets into the mid-80s here in the Midlands, and we start to move away from spring and into summer. It was a very enjoyable about 8-day period of spring
solid.
there.
Solid spring this year. Nice weather. There was some breezes. You could stay outside. Oftentimes, it's a good time to be outside without the mosquitoes and the gnats really getting involved. So, solid spring this year, but it's probably over.
And a well-known tradition of spring is UFL football. Preston Thorne, if I told you right now, the Birmingham Stallions were once again just coasting through the UFL's. Well, it's the USFL It's the UFL Football League, but USFL Conference. The Stallions, the Michigan Panthers, of course, Memphis Showboats, and don't forget about those Houston Roughnecks. Birmingham 5-0 right now in the UFL.
Skip Holtz.
Just knows what he's doing.
This guy's a pro. Looking to repeat. You forgot to add that.
Well, no, technically not repeat.
Well, that's true. Inaugural. Looking to be the inaugural champ of the UFL. You're right.
That's right.
You're right.
That's right. You got to remember. And, of course, on the other side of that, in the XFL Conference, the St. Louis Battlehawks 4-1, the San Antonio Brahmas.
Mm-hmm. Like the Brahma Bull.
First time I think I've read that ever on this. 4-1, DC Defenders 2-3, and the Arlington Renegades are in rebuild mode. They're 0-5.
Well, the DC Defenders is where we're landing here.
Yeah. Why are they talking UFL football? We have a point.
It's your one update. For you out there who have been starving, wondering why these guys won't ever talk about the UFL, we got you.
There you go.
Here you are. But we're here for the DC Defenders because Gamecock legend, legit legend, DJ Swearinger was playing for the DC Defenders, but he was released yesterday. And he gave the reason why they told him he was released. And it's something I think we can all relate to, Bill. You're too old.
That's a shame. Nobody likes to be told that either.
You don't ever want to be told that you're too old. It doesn't really work in a lot of places, but in the world of athletics, it's very clear. They told DJ that, hey, we want to get some younger guys some run. We want to play some of these younger fellas. You're probably taking a little bit too much oxygen up in the locker room. You've seen the promised land. It's time for you. It's time for you to move on, sir. And the thing is, here's what happens. If DJ gets told that he's too old, what does that mean for us?
Well, we don't play football.
We don't.
There's a difference. Being old in football and being old in life is two entirely different things.
Yes. But when somebody that you watched play football is aged out of football, you automatically feel old. And so, Bill, this was going to give me our one and only chance.
Oh.
Everybody buckle up. Our guy, DJ Swearinger, is going to give us an opportunity to take a ride in the Wayback Machine.
Okay.
This is many people's, my favorite, your favorite, everybody's favorite clip for DJ Swearinger. Buckle up. Let's go in the nostalgia machine. Jen, let's roll it. Does everybody feel better now? Don't you feel all warm and fuzzy inside after hearing those names?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia is awesome, isn't it?
I pulled the video clip back up. By the way, the referee called the penalty on Bryson Williams. It was on DJ Swearinger. We all knew that, but listening to the clip, I had not heard the clip there from Todd, but listening to the clip and then going back and rewatching, Swearinger on that first penalty grabs him from behind, grabs the Arkansas running back. This game was actually on CBS, which also is nostalgic because South Carolina at that time was number 8. I don't know what Arkansas was doing to be put on CBS, but yeah, I'm watching it. DJ gets the first one. The second hit is very clean.
Yeah, and it also made me think about how long we've been talking about targeting. I guess I didn't realize that targeting's been in the game for this for this long. So yeah,
but it goes to show you that it was targeting, but he didn't get ejected.
Right.
Didn't get ejected. Otherwise, that play never happens. And but yeah, DJ Swearinger. So now the question is, what role could you give him at the University of South Carolina? I'm not saying secondary coach or he definitely doesn't need to be an analyst. He needs like a Derek Moore type. Give him the shades, put him in the weight room during the summer. He needs to be the guy going around going, "You're only lifting that? We didn't do that back in the day."
Mr. Back in my day.
Yeah, that's it. The minister of back in my day. That's actually exactly what DJ Swearinger probably should be, is the minister of back in my day.
Every time they do something that's a little bit soft around the edges, he pops up out of nowhere.
Yes.
Hey, we didn't do that, and he just points to all the banners in the stadium and all of his pictures up there. His spirit evokes out of the ground.
Again, I don't think
it's like a whack-a-mole.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's just
pops up.
He's just hiding behind corners and the thing like, oh. Or just what was the old commercial?
The office linebacker.
The office linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's what he needs to. If he sees somebody being soft around it, whether it's a coach, whether it's a player, he just comes through and just hits them just like that. Hits them like they did Andre Ellington. He stands over him, and then that would toughen up the office right there.
That's what we need. I feel like the final piece to the squad is missing.
I don't want to see him brought back as an analyst. Don't make him some kind of graduate assistant. Don't put him in that. He needs an official title where he's just walking around. He's got that grimace, just angrily staring at people as they're around. And then, as we said, just if you're acting
forearm shivers for everybody.
If you're acting out, if you're not, you pay the price and you learn to be tough around the office, because being tough around the office leads to being tough around the foot. Right, Preston? Is that how Lou Holtz?
That's how it works. Yeah. Anybody that's walking around there with a leg or an arm in, whatever.
No more legs, no more arms, no more he has a foot. You learn.
The minister of back in my day.
Time for Coach Beamer to make that happen. Yeah, Beth from Lamar, and this is kind of where we're going. Yeah, this is honestly kind of where I'm going. DJ could be the inspiration coach. Ernest says, Todd said it, though. Who cares? Who cares?
Great time. Just hearing those names, the nostalgia just washed over my body. What a great time to be a fan.
That was the height of it right there. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on that. We will wrap up hour number 1. Tony Annan set to come in studio in hour number 2. You're listening to the early game. It's our official music aficionado, guru, men's soccer coach, Tony Annan, back in studio, who made a request when he came in. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Am I on?
You're on?
Yeah, we're on, sir.
Yeah, we got you on that one. Yeah.
See, I don't even know how it works anymore. It's been so long.
Well, there's no problem with that. We got you back here, and obviously yesterday was kind of a crazy day for you. We'll talk a little bit about that yesterday. And you told me this when we talked this week, that yesterday was the opening of the transfer portal for soccer. And it's just another thing where I don't understand. I don't think the NCAA has anybody there who understands soccer. Because why is the transfer portal opening now when you've seen football and basketball's been open since, mid-April, maybe sooner than that? Like, it's weird to me that for your sport, the rules and regulations you have for the summer months, and then the fact that you get them 1 week before your first exhibition, and then they're opening the transfer portal now. Is there a rhyme or reason to that?
I don't think so. There's two windows. There's one in November, December, which is like a month and a half long, and this one's a 2 week. It's a 2 week window. That's
So
it. It's 1st to the 15th, then it's closed. So I don't know any rhyme or reason to anything to do with the portal, to be honest. So.
And we were talking to Lamont Paris last week, and he was saying it's a zoo. It's a zoo. He's got coaches texting him. He's got assistant coaches texting him at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
This guy went, and you were saying that yesterday for y'all was it's for a person who wants to just coach, do your job. It's a maddening process that you have to deal with.
Yeah, between that and NIL, it's not just coaching anymore. I don't think it's ever been just coaching in college athletics. There's tons to do and there's tons of things to think about. But now, these days, it's crazy. We got in the office at 7:15 yesterday morning, and at 8 o'clock, I guess all North Carolina school staff were in, because the first 50 guys into the portal were UNC Chapel Hill, UNC Wilmington, UNCG. And it was crazy. Like the first 30 or 40 guys were all North Carolina guys. I was like, did they start earlier? Are they an hour ahead of us?
They started the meetings at 6 o'clock.
And then at 9 o'clock, all the other schools started coming in. It was like North Carolina got to work early today. So, but we were there until 6 last night, and then obviously texts probably up until 10:30 when I gave up last night. I couldn't keep my eyes open, so I went to bed.
Can you imagine in your day Lou Holtz or how that staff, Lou Holtz dealing with NIL and the transfer portal? Can you even put that into words?
It would definitely be the staff, and Lou would definitely not deal with it. And I know this: there would be no coming back. You made that choice. There would be no option.
Once you enter the portal,
Yeah.
that portal has been closed. You were gone.
Yeah, that'd be pretty clear. Yeah,
Your heart's not in it.
Yeah,
Step aside.
That'd be pretty clear. Now, Coach, because I'm not familiar and I haven't seen it, it seems like a magical place. The portal. Everybody always talks about it. If somebody enters their name and they come to an agreement with the school, does their name automatically removed from it, or what's the mechanics of it?
No, I think as I understand it, you have to manually go in and say he's matriculated or withdrawn. But there's some strange ones, right? The kid came on at 8 or 10, at 10 past 8 in the morning, and he was off again at 8:12, withdrawn. So there's some weird ones as well, right? It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with it.
It's a quick commitment.
No, he withdrew, so he stayed at the school he went in on. I don't know. So it's a cookie thing. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's not for me.
It's talking about college coaching, and we've talked about it, just the changes. And I think Shane was having to fly. I think it was Pro Day that I was interviewing him for something, and he was having to fly out to Dallas for like that evening and coming right back and doing so forth and so on. And we'll talk with you about how things have been going with your program. Last year when we were talking with you, you were making trips to Iceland and Europe and all over the place, and they weren't for vacation. And that was also.
I haven't had a vacation in a while. There's nothing sexy about recruitment, I got to tell you. It's hotels, soccer fields, stadiums, and back to the hotel. And you're in for a day, and there's nothing sexy about it.
Have you found a favorite fast food? I go back to the movie Hustle with Adam Sandler. I don't know if y'all saw that. His love for basketball. In the movie Hustle, he is a scout for the Sixers.
It's a good movie.
and they send him overseas, and it just shows him eating whatever American fast food he can find, and just is that similar
No,
to?
I'm European. You know, I'll taste the culture.
Well, but I mean, around here, when you've got to travel, is that what it is? Fast food?
No, I don't do fast food.
Because I'm trying to think, was it Nick Saban? There's that story that one of his assistants, they were riding together, and his assistant was like, "Let's stop at a Zaxby's," and he's like, what the bleep is a Zaxby's?
Yeah.
I think I'll tell a lie. The furthest I'll go is a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, okay.
No fries, bottle of water, but I've got a little bit of a taste for those on the road.
That's the one that'll get you.
But I try not to. But
Yeah.
it's just like it's
Don't
my
start.
crave.
You got to be careful. You could end up like Ralph Friedgen real quick.
What
What was the one from Kansas? Mark Mangino? Was that the other one? You could lose your way very, very quickly if you're not careful there. We'll get into some Premier League soccer. Preston needs a Tottenham
I
update.
need an update. I'm seeing things. I'm seeing salary caps and all kinds of stuff. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
ever.
I've been wrapped up in college sports.
Gotcha.
Me neither.
Gotcha.
I saw. I think who was it? Somebody. I'm trying to think of who it was, and you tweeted at him. Was involved in a Newcastle match here recently. It was something on social.
No, it wasn't. It was Darius. He played Newcastle City Hall, which is
That's what it was. Yeah.
which is a cool little venue in Newcastle, and he wrote, "Newcastle, you were awesome." Like it was in big letters.
Yeah.
So I tweeted back at him, "No place like home," you know. So,
Yeah. That's
yeah, he's touring Britain right now, and he's having a blast apparently.
well, good. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that with you. Get caught up on some Premier League. You're listening to the early game.
And taking a peek at those traffic conditions out there this morning. Still working an earlier tie-up Shop Road at I-77. Also, I-26 westbound there at Charleston Highway, of course, exit 115. And we are getting some reports of maybe a little bit of patchy fog. Should be burning off as the sun's peeking out, but that's I-20 eastbound and westbound around Longs Pond Road, exit 51. But speaking of that sunshine, we are looking for plenty of it today. 89 will be our high. Some clouds starting to roll in tomorrow with a high of 87. Drop into the low 80s for the weekend and increased chances of showers and thunderstorms really throughout the weekend into Monday. But right now, again, that sun's peeking out. 62 on the early game.
Seven a.m. as we get you up and get you going here on your Thursday morning, second day of May, also known as the day before Bill Gunner's birthday, also known again, Preston, as
21 days before 100 days until football.
I care about that countdown. The other one, it's like, okay.
You don't invite someone to your birthday 1 year because you want to have fun, and you see the bitterness that occurs. Jen, we didn't need the school teacher yelling at everybody for jumping in the pool or eating an extra cupcake or maybe getting a little crazy.
The fact that in the past week, the countdown on, like, if I took a shot of alcohol for every time you mentioned your birthday this week, I would be on the floor.
Well, it'd be a lot of alcohol. It'd be a lot of alcohol. Yeah. I mean, do you get excited about your birthday?
I'm 50 this year, and
That's a big day.
I am not excited about being 50.
50 is a little scary. 45 is going to hit
50
hard.
is like 10 years from 60, man. It's scary.
That is the way it works.
Another countdown.
It's a very valid point.
My
50's
wife wants to do this big thing in the summer, like, let's do this, let's do that. I'm like, I really don't care to do anything about it. Like, 50 could pass me by and I would be okay.
35 hit hard on me. 35 was a bad, because I realized or 36. 36 was the one I think that hit hard because I realized I was closer to 40 than 30.
40 was fine. I had no problem with 40, but 50 is a big number.
It is, yeah. It is yeah, you get there. You get there.
I'm fighting it off.
When is the official birthday?
It's not, obviously it's not until November, but I can't celebrate it during the season, can I?
So she wants to do something big during the summer.
July is the month.
Okay.
Something's happening in July, but I don't know what that's going to be.
See? So there's a countdown. Is that
No, I'm not counting down. I'm running the other way. I'm counting up, trying to get away from it.
Your countdown, I guess, right now would be counting down until the end of this portal that you've got to deal with on May 15th.
Yeah, I'm excited about the fall, but I'm not excited about this next probably 2 weeks of portal and last-minute things. You know?
Give us an update. A lot of some changes obviously went through the spring season, and I guess guys are now off for several months. They're doing their own stuff, but give us an update on the program and how things are.
Pretty much everyone's gone home now. There's one or two left. Spring was great. Training, practice was fantastic. The attitude was brilliant. The attitude, that the way the guys brung it, every single day they did really well, so I was really happy with it. We've got a pretty good core coming back from the fall as well, which is, for the first time, we've managed to hold that core together, and we're adding some really nice pieces. We've got some really nice pieces coming in, so I'm excited about the fall. We've made a few changes on the staff as well, so we've got some new guys coming in there, a bit like what Shane did as well. He revamped his staff a bit, so we did the same thing. But yeah, all good. I think going forward, this will be obviously season number 4, so it's a big one for us to take a real big step forward. I think I'm excited about it. I'm really excited.
So what is it? So with the athletes going home, they are on break until they come back. But y'all's rules are different. They don't come back until the end of the summer, correct?
Well, we can bring them back. So our guys will come back July 12th.
Okay.
So they get 3 weeks before they get to us. So they'll do strength and conditioning, captain's practices, and they've got a packet right now. They've got a few weeks off right now, but then they've got a packet that ramps them up before July 12th.
As a coach, this is always, you sent them home with the packet. In your mind, you know who's going to do the packet, and you know who's going to...
100%, yeah. And sometimes you get a surprise, wow, he must have done his packet. But you know exactly who's doing the packet and who's not going to do the packet. The packet will sit collecting dust on some of the floors. But we've got a good group together. The attitude's really good, and the focus is really good. And I'm, like I said, new staff coming in who I'm really happy with as well. So
I know one really cool thing that I saw, and I can't remember if this was from the Gamecock Gala, or if it was just the University Award, but Junior St. Jude.
Yeah.
Won a very nice academic award that you had to be very proud of, because obviously for him, we've talked about his story and you know, his love for the game and what he's trying to accomplish, but still to come in and to take advantage of an education and doing what he's doing off of the pitch is really cool.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. He's probably the one who uses the Dodie the most. He uses the learning specialists, he uses the mentors, the tutors. He's in there often and late at night. So for him to get an award and be recognised for doing that, I think is huge. I mean, the kid couldn't speak English when he came to America when he was 14 years old. He's 20 now, and he's got a 3.0 GPA, and you couldn't be more proud of the kid. You know, he's a top lad.
I was going to tell you, just talk about that in terms of everybody sees you, the coach, on the field, on the pitch. They come and they see you and that, but off the field with him, and just as you just kind of mentioned, your admiration for what he's doing, and to see that as a coach, a guy who's taking advantage of the student aspect of the student athlete. Because Preston and I were talking about this yesterday about transfers and things and the way coaches have to handle things, and the student part is being ripped out. It's almost not student, but with Junior, he is doing the student aspect of student athlete.
Junior's doing what, I guess, before I got to college athletics, right? What is expected. He comes in, he's probably going to do 4 years here. You know, he's all in to the Gamecocks. He's bought in. He's had some ups and downs, and he's never wavered and said, oh, you know what, I'm going to get on the portal here and look around. And so he's like sort of how the student athlete used to be. And I think that's cool. Like that's kind of why, one of the reasons I really wanted to come to college was that whole process of developing a player, but also developing a really good human, right? So there's not many of them around anymore, 4-year guys who stick with it through thick and thin, and challenges in the classroom and challenges on the pitch. And so for me, he's just the pinnacle of what it's about, but it's obviously changed a lot. And I was talking to an older coach who's been in college athletics for 20, 30 years, and he said it's not the way it used to be anymore. It's gone. Like building a team with 19-year-olds or 18-year-old freshmen, bringing them through, seeing them through their bumps and bruises, seeing them through their ebbs and flows. It's just not that way anymore. You know, you get someone for 2 years maybe, or you bring somebody in for just a year. It's completely changed the dynamics. So,
can you relate to that?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not to age you as we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Alan, by the way, is in and says, if you think 50 is bad, try 60.
I hope to try 60.
yeah, I hope I get there.
Yes. Congratulations. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I was just thinking about my relationship that I had with my strength coach when I was here. You know, I was here for 5 years, and you know, your first year, you're kind of scared of the strength coach. You don't talk much, and then by the time I was 5th year, we weren't partners. He was still the coach, but we could actually talk as almost equals, and there was a whole relationship that developed, and he helped me in my post-playing career, and you know, still in contact with him. But that relationship had to be forged through ups and downs and injuries and all that stuff, and you grow a trust and an inherent sort of bond with that folks, and that is something. And I'm not romanticizing that. That is something that I think was truly a unique part of the experience as a student athlete.
Yeah, they've professionalized college sports now. It's like a professional game where you come in, you have a contract, maybe you see the whole contract out. Maybe somebody takes you and you go somewhere else. And I think it's been taken away, that whole development piece of not only the sports part, but the human side of it as well. I think it hasn't been taken away. It's not lost, because there are people who want to do that. But there's less and less of it, I think. I think if you ask any coach in the university, they'll tell you that.
Well, no, that's interesting because, no offense to him, but Shane Beamer, Lamont Paris, Don Staley, they can't talk about the experience you did, because you just mentioned it. You went through an academy, right? You went to Newcastle? Is that where did you
West Brom. Well, I was in Newcastle's academy then, but West Brom was a 16 to 19-year-old.
But that was essentially your college experience, but it was entirely focused on soccer. I don't know what you did. Like it's train. I don't think they took you in a classroom and said, "All right, here's some economics. Learn this, and then we'll go back out and we'll practice."
To be fair, in the program I was in, the academy programs in England, it's still the same now. There was an education piece to it, but it was like how to be a lifeguard, how to. Yeah, you got like sort of little bits of little things where if you didn't make it in football, you at least had something to fall back on. And to be fair, I was a lifeguard for 6 months after I got released. But yeah, it's just full-time football. It's not education. It's not really trying to develop the holistic person, right? It's just, can you make it? Will you get through? Do you get a full-time contract at the end of it or not?
And do you sense college athletics moving? Obviously, the difference is after college, you now go professional for that contract, or that bigger contract, I guess. But do you sense it moving more in that direction almost? Do you see that, what you went through?
I hope it doesn't go that far. I hope we hold on to some of this collegiate sort of experience and the college experience. I hope we hold on to some of that. I don't think we'll ever lose that, but it's from what I understand how it used to be, from talking to older coaches, or coaches that have been in it a long time, it seems to be drifting away from that whole, let's do that 4-year development experience. And it used to be tougher to transfer, Now it's you don't even have to, if you want a transfer bill, you don't have to come in my office and tell me. You just go straight upstairs to compliance. You get on the portal and I get a notice saying, hey, Bill's got on the portal. I mean, you don't even have to face me and tell me I'd like to leave. When it used to be, you had to seek permission, you had to sit out a year sometimes, and it wasn't easy to transfer. Now it's...
He talks about that, about guys who, did anybody that was like, man, I got to go talk to Lou tomorrow, tell him I'm not going to hang around. Of course, I got a feeling if you were going to tell him, Lou wasn't really thrilled about keeping you anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but the idea of I have to go have this conversation, that's a tough conversation to have. It might make you rethink the conversation. Not even that the coach is going to try and persuade you, but you just got to go have a really tough talk at a young age, and you might rethink some things. And yeah, anybody during that time would have loved to just I'm sure if I had a button to hit the portal at some point when I got benched during my sophomore year, of course I would have. But it wasn't available, and so you just sort of see things to the other side.
To be fair to the guys who've gone on the portal from my team, they've all came and said, I'm going to make a choice and go in the portal. None of them have sideswiped me like that.
Yeah.
I've had a few come in and try and bluff. One came in and said, I want a 90% scholarship coach. And I was like, you're on 0 and you're a freshman and you want to go to 90%. Knowing fine well that I will say, I don't have 90% to give you. Okay, then you've just given me the reason to go in the portal. So I called the bluff on that one. But they just didn't know how to handle that situation. They didn't know to come in and say, look, I want to go home. I want to go somewhere else. And so they made it about, you say no to me, and that'll give me the reason to go in the portal. And I called it out, and I said, do I deserve that, do you think? Well, no, I just didn't have the stomach to tell you straight up. And I was like, well, now you have, and let's move on, So it's tough. It's tough times.
803-404-6100 if you want to text in this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, and Coach Tony Annan in studio with us. We'll talk a little Premier League when we come back. You're listening to the early game.
Working an earlier accident on Highway 1 near Clemson Road. Aside from that, other accidents have been cleared. That's really good news for your Thursday morning. We are looking for a high today of 89, and we will enjoy that sunshine. A few clouds coming in tomorrow, 87 for our high. And then when it comes to the weekend, going to see some showers and thunderstorms off and on really throughout the weekend into Monday. Again, today's high, we're looking for an 89. Right now, though, it's 62 on the early game.
It's very good. It's very good. Right as we come back on air, just looks over. Warren G. Yep, that's Nate Dogg. Can you name the song?
Regulators.
There you go. Yeah.
Come on.
Light work.
Give me a test.
That's on Jen. That's on.
But
That song reminds me of coming to the USA. In 1994, that song was like so popular.
Michael McDonald's version?
No,
Keep forgetting, or
Nate
the
Dogg's,
actual Warren G.
Yeah, Warren G's version. And that Regulators Mount Up. That was like, that just reminds me so much of coming to America.
You like, I'm here. Oh, this is what it's about.
This is a jam. I'm gonna enjoy it here. But then there was Lisa Loeb, Stay. That was the other one. It was like totally different.
Yeah.
But when I hear those two songs, I'm like, oh, that's when I came to America.
It's amazing.
Sucker with No Self-Esteem. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Offspring is Offspring.
Offspring. That's what I was trying to think. Was it Offspring or Beck? I can't remember. Yeah, Offspring.
Beck was Loser.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Wow. Way back then.
Hey, you should know that one, Bill.
Thank you.
I was thinking
Easy to be
Radiohead,
off
I'm a
for.
Creep.
Oh, there you go.
What's happening here? What's exactly going on here?
It's your show. You can get it back on track.
Fine.
Coming up in the 6th.
Yeah.
Tony will not be back on the show.
803-404-6100 if you want to text in this morning. Time for a Tottenham update. I know you said you've been busy, though. You've been having other things you've got to deal with. It's been a little out of the Premier League. But you did mention, and we'll get to Tottenham in just a second, off air, we're talking a little Premier League, and you mentioned Mo Salah and Jurgen Klopp. Have you followed that much and just kind of being affiliated, knowing the Premier League, but also having been a coach and seen, your own personal dealings with players from your time in Atlanta and now with South Carolina? How do you, when you see that as a coach, how do you take that in?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I followed the situation more from a coaching aspect than I did from the drama. But I think there's been a bit of a needle between those two for a while. A friend who coached the 23s at Liverpool said that, Mo appears to be this nice, easygoing guy, but he's pretty difficult behind the scenes. When Sané was there, those two would fight as well for attention as well. So it's kind of, I think there's a bit of needle there. Obviously, Klopp's leaving now, so I guess maybe Mo just voiced his opinion from being benched. He's been out of form. He hasn't been great. So I think he just spoke up. I don't know. I don't know what was said, and I don't think anybody does. But
what do you think the odds are of us seeing Mo Salah at Williams-Brice Stadium in August?
I think he'll stay. I think he'll give the new guy a chance because he's got probably 2 years left in the Premier League. And I think he may stay. Great.
That it does. I'm not thrilled about not seeing Jurgen Klopp.
Me neither. I love Klopp.
Yeah, I wanted to see him. Arsenal right now at the top of the board. There, 80 points for them. Manchester City 79. Liverpool at 75. And again, because of some of this, Liverpool, who is rolling along, has dropped. And in a Premier League over there, because it's so. We've talked about this when you've been in. Being a professional over there is actually different than being a professional over here. Like the nature of the city. I remember the story I read, I think it was in The Athletic, just about Messi coming over and being in Miami and being able just to go to the local Publix and nobody knew who he was.
That's not that way anymore, but when he first came here, it was.
But explain that when you start to have what it's like, what you've seen from the MLS or professional sports over here, when you get a little bit of a rift, you get a little bit of a divide versus what a divide is like over there in that league.
I think it's just the sheer size of this country and sports, so many sports in this country, right? And the attention is not so intense on one sport. That's what I would sort of equate it to. But in England, or really in any European country that has a top soccer league, that's it. You know, I mean, the closest thing that you get news on sport over there is rugby and cricket, which are way behind, and there's no drama. So everything is focused on the Premier League in the UK. And every single thing that happens in the Premier League is just intensified. So it's different in that regard, that it's the NFL is the sport of the USA, right? And probably baseball second, right? But the intense scrutiny is nowhere near what it is for the Premier League in the UK.
Coach, I travel around to these elementary schools, to these schools all around specifically this state, and it is amazing to me the amount of knowledge that kids have on soccer right now. And it's surprising to me when, there was a time when you'd be like, who's better, Kobe or LeBron or something, and the crowd will go. When we go in the classroom now and you bring up Messi or you bring up Ronaldo, it's mayhem. You can't get them under control. Have you seen that building of the international game in the United States since you've been here?
Oh, absolutely. 94, you could barely scratch a game. You'd have to drive. I think I'd have to drive about 45 minutes to find a game on TV. Now you get a European game every night of the week. You can find a game, So
and it's European players, it's Latin players. Girls, boys, I mean, everybody is, and it's just shocking to me because I didn't see that coming. But these younger generation are really on board with soccer. Yeah,
I mean, the success of the girls' national team, women's national team here has obviously helped on the girls' side of it. But I think on the male side of the game, these games that, I mean, just take a look. It's Willie B in Columbia, South Carolina, who nobody thought would host a Premier League game, is hosting a Premier League game that's sold out in a day. I mean, that tells you everything, right? And I've been here since 94. The World Cup was 94. And then since then, it's just gone from strength to strength. There's 3.5 million registered soccer players in the US. Basketball, football, and baseball's numbers don't come anywhere near that. I think once the MLS, give the MLS another 10 or 15 years and the game will just continue to grow here. I don't think it'll ever knock off baseball or football. I don't think it will. But it will claim, I think it will claim the charts. For sure.
I was going to, do you feel like the talent pool for you to recruit America or regionally has grown in your 4 years? Like when you first got here and you looked around, you went, if you wanted to go to North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, regionally, because again, I laugh because I just can't envision what you have to do to hop on a plane, go to Iceland, make some kind of drive. You talked about going to France. I think it was France you said last year, and hotel, drive 2 hours to recruit. Have you noticed an increase in prospects that you can recruit?
It's a good question. I don't think there's been an increase in the amount of talent. There's a lot of talent in the US. There's tons of talent in the US. The top 1% of it signs MLS contracts and doesn't come to college anymore, which, those are the guys that can really make a difference. But there's a ton of American players, and I think the best situation we could ever have is to, as the pool grows, as the talent pool gets deeper, we can recruit more Americans that can come in and play. But in the Sun Belt where we are, to be competitive, to hang in there with the teams in the Sun Belt and be competitive in the Sun Belt, we need older, more experienced players. That's just the way it is at the moment. And just like Lamont with his basketball team in the SEC, he had to go older. He had to go more experienced to get that winning sort of record and sort of lift the game. He brought in Andrew, was one freshman who popped.
Right.
And he didn't expect him to pop like he did. If you ask Lamont, he popped really hard. So, and we can do that. We can bring a freshman in like Jonah Bigger, who played for us last year, had a great year as a freshman. We didn't expect it. But to bring in 7 or 8 of those, we wouldn't be able to hang in our division. So we've got to sort of strategize how we bring kids in. But the talent pool's plenty of talent. It just needs to get a little bit more educated, a little bit more. I think think the level overall has to improve for them to improve. You know?
Well, there's a way to do that, and we'll tell you about that coming up June 3rd through the 7th, 17th through the 21st in June, the Junior Gamecock Camp. We'll tell you a little bit more about the camps. I'm sure we'll be back out there broadcasting this year.
Hopefully.
Look for, yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, I think we can make that work. I'm going on a cruise. That's my second countdown.
There's a shock.
Yeah. We'll talk. We'll give you some information on the Tony Annan soccer camps coming up. We will talk some Premier League. Got a couple questions coming in here. We'll talk a little Tottenham as well. You're listening to Coach Tony Annan joining us this morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway. So that's Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway. There is a trailer that is currently blocking the roadway, so going to need a workaround there. Again, 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway, a trailer blocking the roadway. Highway 1 near Clemson Road, still working that earlier tie-up on your Thursday morning. Looking for a high of 89 under sunny skies. It'll be 87 tomorrow. Clouds start to roll in preparation for the rain and storms that will hit on Saturday and run through about Monday. But it's a nice start. The sun is out. 62 on the early game.
.35 here on your Thursday morning. Head men's soccer coach Tony Annan joining us. And, yeah, in about a month from now, your first camp. You'll be welcoming all the junior Gamecocks over to Stone Stadium and to start again. And I know you love that. You love having everybody out there. At the end of the camp, you have kind of I don't want to mispronounce, but a water day where the campers get a really good time. And
no, we do that midweek now. We break the week up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do Wednesdays as water day. So
Wet Wednesdays.
Wet Wednesdays.
Water Wednesday.
Huge, big water slides, and everyone gets soaked. Even I have to go down the slide. It's part of the
And
camp.
you're
A true leader.
It's good fun.
I love that. Well, and then it kind of rejuvenates them for the rest of the week.
That's it. Hump day.
So the 5th, I will be doing a show on the 5th, so maybe that's the day we'll plan to be there.
If you come, you have to go down the water slide.
Got to have it
That's
set
the
up from
rule.
6 to 9. Got to have it set up early. June 3rd through the 7th is the first session for the junior Gamecock camp. June 17th through the 21st is the second session. You can go to TASCcamps.com to get registered. And again, this will be your third year doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, your second year, you were real pleased with the growth. I think you were telling us last year the number of people that registered, the children grew exponentially for you.
To Preston's point, I think they discovered that soccer was a pretty cool camp to go to. So the numbers doubled last year, and they're on track this year. They've got some great numbers coming in, so it should be a lot of fun.
Again, go to TA for Tony Annan, SCcamps.com. So TASCcamps.com. You can do a full day, which is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can do the half day, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That Friday will be a half day, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And you just enjoy it. You get some of the local coaches that come in. They'll also meet some of your players who participate. I know Junior, again, is a guy that my son and his friends really, really had a good time with, and kind of we talked about his academic side and the job, but he gets out there and he seems to thoroughly enjoy being with the kids as well.
Yeah, we've got 4 or 5 players that are staying this summer. They're going to be out there. A lot of the SC Heat players, so the amateur team, a semi-pro team in town, they come out and work as well. So we've got some good guys working. Did you ever have to do? I don't really know anything about like football camps. I actually never went to a football camp. Did you ever have to work a football camp, whether it was at Somerville for John McKissick or a Lou Holtz camp?
We've done variations of that. And me personally, I'm getting out of town as fast as I can, happy guy, so I wasn't hanging around. But if some of those folks that were hanging around, they could work the camps. Sure.
My guys don't have to do it; they choose to do it.
Yes,
they want to do it.
All those dudes chose to do it, and I chose to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have worked them?
Yeah, I've worked them, and I actually worked some in my coaching career too. With these, and what's really cool about it is you get a chance to see the athletes. Now all of a sudden, I'm sure you as a coach, they're telling the kids what to do, and you're like, I've been trying to tell you to do that this whole time.
Junior's a really good coach. He's really disciplined and strict. And I'm like, I wonder where you get that from. But he's, it's a good time. And the good thing is that most of the kids that come to camp end up coming to a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do like a camp appreciation night during the season where they wear their camp T-shirt, they get it for free. And it's a good connection, obviously, to the soccer community, but it's also, good fun.
Again, TASCcamps.com. First session is June 3rd through the 7th. Again, you can do a full day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So school will be out because I don't know how it is for but I know school's, but I was going to say, if you're thinking about what am I going to do with the kids this summer and stuff.
That one's filling up. The first one's really full at the moment. It's not full up, but it's close.
So get registered. 5 to 14 years old is the age level there. 5 to 14, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., 9 a.m. to 12. You can either do a full day or a half day. Again, go to TASCcamps.com is where you can get registered for that. Got a couple questions. Let's see, a question that came in from Steven here. It says, how good of a manager is, and again, my ability to pronounce names, so if I mispronounce this,
he said first name.
How good of a manager is Arne Slot, and does Erik ten Hag come back to United next year? And if so, what needs to happen for United to get better?
What a question.
So let's start with the Arne Slot. How good of a manager is Arne Slot?
I don't know, because he's had one of the best squads in the Netherlands, and he's done an unbelievable job with them. So I think in the Premier League, it's a lot different. Like Ten Hag, for instance, at Ajax was amazing. Everyone thought he was the guy. And he struggled at Man United. Not just because of his coaching, I don't think, but I think there's a lot going on at Man United. But if Ten Hag stays at Man United, I'd be surprised. Just with all the change that's going to happen at Man United.
And so if that happens, if so, what needs to happen for United to get better?
They need a good clear out. They need to reset and start again, I think. I think that's their culture. They've got some stuff going on behind the scenes. That I think Dan Ashworth, if they manage to get Dan Ashworth in, he will help. But new ownership, Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, sorry.
They take that seriously over there.
Yes, if you've got a knighthood, you have to. Yeah, it's serious stuff. But yeah, I think United have got to have a big reset. I'm kind of hoping they don't, but
The co-pilot asked, has the increase of recruits come to the university for Pop-Tarts? How's the Pop-Tarts going over there?
Pop-Tarts are back, are they? I'm sure I'll be seeing some this summer again.
That's right. We'll have to remind everybody about that. Give Preston, I know, again, you hadn't watched Tottenham, 5th place right now, 7 points out of maybe making the Champions League. But from what you've been able to gather from them, it's time for a Preston update for Tottenham.
Well, I think Ange is unbelievable. I think he's fantastic. I think he's one of the straightest guys. He shoots it straight. He doesn't mince his words. He's got a great demeanour. I'm a big fan of Ange, and I'm happy to see Tottenham doing well under him, because what he's had available this season, and they're still in 5th, is a pretty big achievement.
It seems like there's been a lot of injuries I was reading.
He had a lot of ups and downs, yeah, and he's totally new style of play, and I think what he's done there with that club, where nobody else has been able to do it, and sustain it. I think if they allow him to stay there for a while, I think you'll see some huge things come out.
Here's what I don't know. When I jumped on board, my guy was Harry Kane. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's not there anymore. So I don't know how do I navigate this as a new soccer fan. Do I stick with the club? Do I follow my player?
How does it stick with your club?
Stick with the club. Okay,
that's part of being a fan. It's the ebb and flow, the up and down.
So we wish him the best, but stick with the club.
Yeah, Harry's not winning anything this year, which is why he went to Bayern Munich, and he could win the Champions League still, I think. But
that's kind of that. See, this is where I think being in your 40s, you have to stick, because kind of like Austin, he's for some reason I think he became an Arizona Cardinals fan because of DeAndre Hopkins. I think.
Okay, all right.
And now that Nuke's not, I've heard less Arizona Cardinal talk. I get less text messages from him wanting an Arizona Cardinal jersey. I think he's still a Lakers fan because of LeBron. I think. I don't know. I know that he and I were both talking this week about the Lakers being blown out by the Nuggets and losing 4-1 and what happened with the Heat. So, yeah, you got to. I'm with Coach. Once you take your team,
yeah,
I'm with it.
You don't want to be called a bandwagon.
No,
you don't seem like a bandwagon kind of guy.
No, I'm not that type of guy.
And my son is a Tottenham fan too, so you guys can bond on that.
I'm on it.
He's
I just didn't know the proper protocol for that.
Part of being a fan is the suffering.
Yeah, you can't follow your player.
Chicago Cubs, what?
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, what?
Yeah, you're
I
lifelong.
understand fandom.
It's almost a badge of honor when your team is actually really bad and you say you continue to watch them and follow them. I think there's almost that bad. It's almost a bigger badge than supporting an actual winner.
Yeah, the pride of suffering for years.
Yeah, right. There's misery loves company, right?
That has never been a true statement.
Right.
Including in a team, in a locker room.
Very Spursy, as you said.
Yeah.
Well,
Very Spursy.
We will wrap up the hour here. Tony Annan joining us here in studio. We'll wrap it up with him. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. For nearly 30 years, Larry Leitner and the family at Mid-State Roofing have taken care of your roofing needs across the state of South Carolina, and they do it with their performance, with their dedication. They know how to make sure this coming summer, when those summer thunderstorms roll in that have that hail, that your roof is going to be ready to handle it. And they do it with 24 hours a day, 7-day-a-week protection. And by that, I mean they have a call center. Whether you speak with an on-call technician or a Mid-State Roofing employee, Mid-State Roofing is there to put you in a maintenance contract and make sure that everything is running smoothly, because they want your home, your business, they all want it to stay dry. So call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919. Again, that's 803-356-1919. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Someone is there to answer your call and make sure that you are taken care of. So if you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning if you want to do so. Again, a reminder, you can go to Gamecocks online, click on the soccer tab at the top, and go to tasccamps.com where you can get registered for the Tony Annan 2024 summer soccer camps. Ages 5 to 14, again in June 3rd through the 7th. You can do a full day or a half day, and then you've also got another camp June 17th through the 21st. So we'll continue to remind you about that. But again, you can go to the website tasccamps.com as we wrap it up here with you. You mentioned it. Manchester United, Liverpool, they'll be here in August. I think it's the 3rd, if I'm thinking correctly. It's kind of died down now. There was that initial excitement, but that's still something we did talk with you a little bit about when it occurred, and you brought it up a few minutes ago, having it at Williams-Brice Stadium. A couple people were asking here the dimensions of the field and how that will work with the soccer field and the goalpost.
Yeah, it's wide enough and it's long enough. There's enough space if you use the sidelines, which are not usually used because they're usually packed with players. If you back it all the way up to the corners, it's fine. The dimensions are fine.
One texter asked about the bushes, the shrubs. Will those have to be taken out?
No.
So they'll be able to do it with that.
Yeah.
Just don't shove anybody into them,
enough
right?
length to leave the bushes in there.
Okay. All right. Then that'll be the 3rd through the 7th. Just talk about the reception you've received, the university's received there since the announcement and what it's been like to have this event.
Yeah, there's a huge excitement about it. There's planned events in the Vista.
Oh.
They got like a little sort of soccer fest down in the Vista. They've got plans for that. I think the community, the Columbia Tourist Commission are doing something down there. Obviously, around the stadium will be tailgate heaven, I'm sure, like it is for football. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be pretty cool. There's a lot of people coming from a lot of different places to Columbia, which is going to be great.
Because 4 events, 3 here, Philadelphia, Los Angeles. Am I thinking on that correctly?
3, I think, yeah. 3.
So, different and everything that's going on there. So, before we let you out here, I know you got to go, still getting your ankle all rehabbed and getting better, but your feelings on your club here as you go into this month now, you'll get the portal thing out, maybe you'll get a few weeks to kind of re-energize yourself, and then as you mentioned, year 4.
Yeah, season 4, year 3. It's don't put me here that long yet.
Okay.
His wife is trying to get him, and get the 50th early. You're trying to move things along. Let's slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Slow down
It's 3 years in June I've been here. That's when I moved here because I took the team. The first team I had was right before the season.
Okay.
I actually met them in August.
Yeah, I remember kind of a late situation, but your feelings on going into this as you...
I'm excited. I am. I think we've got I think it's our best group yet as far as attitude and ability. We've got a few pieces to add still in the next few weeks, but by June the 15th is my deadline of being done recruiting, which is late, but I'm waiting for the right thing that I'm looking for. But I feel good about it. I do. I think I've got the staffing's right. The core group are back. We've added some really nice pieces. I think I'm hopeful this could be a really good season for us. I'm really excited about it.
One of your good buddies that you got to know really well, traveling on the Welcome Home Tours, Lamont Paris. How did you enjoy that basketball season and seeing the success he had?
Yeah, I think I came in here and said, "Told you so," right?
Basically,
just to make sure that.
Well, no. Lamont last week came on and he told us we were in on the bandwagon early. We were early January, so he even gave us praise for.
But what was it in that time that you spent with him that made you feel that he was going to be successful?
He's a very, very intelligent coach, and he has a very, very good way of looking at the game, not just basketball but sports in general. And I think he articulates it very well. I actually sat with him for an hour and a half a few weeks ago in his office and just picked, which is great. That's the beauty of being in college sports. You're not alone, right? You've got all these guys. Shane and I talk quite regularly, and Mark Kingston's a great lad. And even like Kalen, I talk to Kalen, the golf coach, quite a bit as well. So, but Lamont gave me his time and sort of gave me his sort of strategy on building his roster as well, which was good for me to hear and backed up some of the things I was trying to do. But yeah, I was over the moon for him to see him do that and really wake up men's basketball and get everybody behind him. I love that. That's amazing for a coach when the community gets behind you because of success as well. So I was really pleased for him, and I still am.
Last year, I believe, once again, you were either at the top or set an attendance record for fans at Stone Stadium.
Men and women, yeah.
So I'll kind of put you on the spot. When do we get a schedule announcement, or is there anything that you can just say, hey, plan this accordingly? I'm thinking this year Clemson comes back here, if I'm thinking.
Clemson are here August 30th.
August 30th.
That's the one I can tell you.
Friday night. That'll be the
calendars.
That'll be a rocking, jammed out Stone Stadium for sure.
So August 30th, that'll be the Friday night before the Old Dominion game. So in other words, what's our countdown again?
So that means there are 20 days until
100 days.
100 days until that game.
Until
120 days.
So we're 119.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. No, 100. He's saying 121.
Okay.
Yeah. Saturday, he's got the 120.
Clicker in my mind.
So the schedule will be out, obviously, through the summer.
Great having you back in.
Thanks.
Look forward to catching
Appreciate
up.
you.
Hour 3 on the way.
And for your Thursday morning, a few things we're encountering out there. Highway 1 near Clemson Road, still working that earlier tie-up. And a report of an obstruction in the roadway, basically a trailer in the roadway blocking things right now on Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway. So again, 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway, a trailer blocking the roadway. Be careful there. And we're looking for a high today of 89. It's going to be sunny out there. We'll enjoy it. Some clouds rolling in tomorrow, 87. Then we drop to the low 80s for the weekend as we get some showers and thunderstorms. But it's warming up to 63 on the early game.
Up and at 'em, 8 a.m. if you're not already. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, as we get you ready for a Thursday morning that Jen has already said is going to be absolutely beautiful. I've even heard the words Chamber of Commerce type day thrown around here. It's going to be mid to high 80s. It's going to be really nice. We get you ready for more playoffs tonight, more NBA playoffs. Should be a really good one at 9 o'clock. Between the Sixers and the Knicks. You've also got the Pacers and the Bucks tonight, Preston. Got NHL going on tonight. And we've got more Major League Baseball as we continue to roll into the month of May. This is where you got to be a fan, right? This is one of the months where you got to be a fan. This is where you really get invested.
This is the fun part of the season. This is when you really start figuring out what's happening.
So you get ready for that, and that's what we're going to get you ready for right now. It is our Chop Talk as we give you a little Braves breakdown. We also look at the Major League Baseball as a whole.
Chop Talk.
Hammered, left field, gone! Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
On the early game is sponsored by Carolina Turf and Grass on the Game Network.
Yeah, again, thank you to Carolina Turf, Grass, and Landscape Supply, located on 5400 Augusta Road over in Lexington. They're sodding South Carolina 1 square foot at a time. If you call them, 803-446-6525, and you get your yard ready for the kids to go out and play this summer, they'll be ready to help you. If you mention that you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Preston and Bill, you can get a mulch discount. So you want to make sure that yard is looking fantastic this summer. Preston, you remember the days of being out. Do you remember the days of being out and having to play on a yard that wasn't quite looking great?
No, but you said the idea of sodding, and I would just tell you, yes, please hire professionals, because there was a time when I did this as a summer job, and whew, not easy work.
Little more than you bargained for.
A lot more than I bargained for.
Well, whatever you're looking for, whether it's Bermuda, Centipede, St. Augustine, or Zoysia, I believe I said that correctly. Not an aficionado, but call Carolina Turf, Grass, and Landscape Supply, 803-446-6525. Again, they are the official sponsor of the Chop Talk segment. Last night, Braves snap a 2-game losing streak. They knock off, or I should say yesterday afternoon, they knock off the Seattle Mariners. They will get a 1-day break before setting up a really fun series starting tomorrow night with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Big time, 2 best teams in the league, best records in the league, going head-to-head, a lot of star power. Get to see our guy Freddie Freeman again, see what he's all up to, even though we've moved on. and we got our guys. Yeah, so that should be very exciting.
This will be the first of the two series between the Braves and the Dodgers. The next will come up in September towards the end of the season, and that'll be kind of interesting because it could be during the playoff run. Right now, the Braves a half-game lead, 20-9 on the season, but a half-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies yesterday knocking off the Angels. Whit Merrifield in that game. I was actually watching the MLB Network, by the way. Still keeping up with that, still taking advantage of that. Merrifield yesterday had a nice double that I saw, but the Braves right now, Preston, the big thing is trying to get Ozzie Albies back from the broken foot. He's been out, should be back here in the next 2 weeks, but it's been some guys that have kind of been carrying him, and one of them has been the big old bear, Marcell Ozuna, who is batting .321 on the season, 9 home runs. What was our stat? Hold on, I want to go back to this. What was our stat? Mike Trout, who's out, had 10 home runs and 14 RBIs. Is that right?
That was correct.
Okay. And they stink. They're 11 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Trout is probably just, granted, he loves the game, he loves the sport, but he's probably like, hey, 10 home runs and only 14 RBIs. Marcell Ozuna, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs.
That's what happens. That's called a functioning baseball team. That's how it's supposed to work. But here's the deal, and this is the best news that I've read for the Braves. Ronald Acuna, Greg Olson. Neither one
Matt
of them.
Matt Olson.
I'm sorry.
Greg Olson's the old former catcher. There's a trip down memory lane.
I do remember Greg. These two dudes are not really swinging the bats very well. Neither one of them are not playing very well right now, and the Braves are still in this position. And so that's great news because you have to assume that Ronald Acuna is going to get it going at some point throughout the season, and you would have to assume the same thing with Matt Olson. So the double-edged sword is that your two of your best players are not playing well, and your team is still performing, overcoming injuries. Feels like the Braves are in a very good position right now.
Yeah, I think if I told you that Matt Olson and Ronald Acuna Jr. have combined for just 4 home runs and are hitting roughly combined, or averaging a combined average of 228, you'd be like, oh boy,
exactly.
Not the kind of season that we should be having. Austin Riley, not particularly
He's not
better.
playing very well either.
Two homers for Austin Riley. He's batting only .235. By the way, to go back on that, Acuna .252, and Matt Olson right now has just 29 hits and 88 at bats. He is batting .206 on the season.
Here's my favorite stat that I've run across. Now, baseball's changed. We have a lot of analytics. Ronald Acuna, 30.7 whiff rate. Do you know what? Are you familiar with the whiff rate?
I am not. Wait, give us some background.
So the whiff rate is exactly what you think it is. Every time he swings the bat, that's the percentage of time he whiffs and does not make contact with the ball. It has risen 10% from last year, so he's hovering at around 29, 30%. We have to get that whiff rate down, but I have found a new statistic which I'll be following very closely.
I like that.
Ronald Acuna and the whiff rate.
We will keep updated on the whiff rate. Do you have a leader? Is there a way we can get a quick leader on that?
We need to find that.
The leader, not for the Braves, but I would like to know the leader in Major League Baseball on the whiff rate as soon as we can get that. Again, right now, Braves coming off a series against the Seattle Mariners where they dropped 2 of 3. That was preceded by a series against another really good team, the Guardians. I almost stumbled on that one, the Cleveland Guardians. And that one they took 2 of 3 in that. Right now, the guy you trust on the mound is the guy that pitched yesterday. Chris Sale, 4-1 on the season, 36 2/3 innings, and he's rolling along. 42 strikeouts, 7 walks on the season, Preston, and an ERA of 3.44. Chris Sale's been a great pickup for them, and really with losing Spencer Strider, Braves pitching hadn't fallen apart. Sale, Max Fried, Reynaldo Lopez, who was good the other night, and Charlie Morton kind of holding things down, and then the Braves kind of having a rotation there of a few other guys, whether it's Bryce Elder, whether it is Darius Vines. They've gone with Dylan Lee a little bit and with A.J. Minter to kind of supplement that staff.
Bill, there's so many statistics in baseball now.
Baseball is wildly analytical.
This is pretty wild. I'm looking at pitch tracking, pitch percentage, bat by profile, run values by pitch type. it's a lot going on. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research, but I will be back next week with our whiff rate ratings.
Whiff rate ratings. Looking around Major League Baseball, again, right now, you kind of talked about the Dodgers and where they stand. The Dodgers right now on the season, 20-13. Again, you mentioned the Phillies. The Phillies lead the National League in wins with 21. Again, they're 21-11. The Braves 20-9. The Dodgers 20-13. Jennifer, the Cubbies, they are a half game back. Cubs 19-12 on the season. Wow. Half game back. Brewers 19-11 on the season. But the Cubs playing really, really well, playing really good baseball right now.
Yes, they definitely are. It's been kind of a fun season to keep an eye on, fun season to watch. So just cautiously optimistic.
They are being led currently. Nico Horner playing good for them, the second baseman. He's batting .272 on the season for the Cubs right now. Dansby Swanson, a little Dansby Swanson update, just .234 on the season for the former Brave there. Cody Bellinger in center field for the Cubs. And this is kind of going back to what Preston was talking about for the Braves and some of their stars struggling. Cody Bellinger batting just .226 on the season, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs for the big free agent pickup for the Cubs. But again, 19-12 right now are the Cubs, and just a half game back of the Milwaukee Brewers. In the American League, the Yankees right now sitting with 20 wins, the Cleveland Guardians sitting with 20 wins, and then you've got a whole bunch in the Central. Kansas City 19-13, the Detroit Tigers 18-13, and the Twins and their summer sausage, the lucky summer sausage, 17-13 for the Twins. And Preston, update, summer sausage, Twins, winners of 10 straight right now.
See, you got to keep it rolling. What you going to do? You tell them to stop now? Can't. You can't stop.
No, you just can't have some
Gotta
late.
Keep rolling that sausage.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Can't have can't have some late night clubhouse attendant decide he need a snack and see that sausage laying around and
or just a poor janitor's cleaning up and he's like, oh yeah, let me just tidy up the area, and then he throws away the sausage. The team could be like, no,
That'd be terrible. It'd be like Bartman.
Exactly.
Twins just 3 back of the Guardians there in the AL Central.
There's so many statistics. Oh my, I'm drowning.
Are you? I sent you spiraling down a path.
Oh my God, this hit charts, this 1,000 BPAs rolling, and
You would just give us one.
It's a lot.
Just pick one and go with it. Just
Shohei Ohtani, hard hits, 99%, hard hit percentage, the percentage that he puts the barrel of the bat on the ball. Average exit velocity, sweet spot velocity, chase percentage, K percentage, baseball, balls on bases.
You got it all right there for you.
It's a lot. It's all in one space. I just don't know what any of it means. So I'll be back next week after I break down these charts.
Everything's right there. Again, Braves and Dodgers, they will get going late, 10-10 tomorrow night. It'll be Charlie Morton on the mound versus Gavin Stone. Then that'll take us into the weekend for the Braves and the Dodgers, which should be, again, a really good series out there. They'll have another late game on Saturday. 9:10 will be the Braves-Dodgers start time. Bryce Elder versus Tyler Glasnow. Very good pitcher there for the Dodgers. And then on Sunday afternoon, it'll be a 4:10 start. Max Fried on the mound against James Paxton. So there is your Chop Talk, again, sponsored by Carolina Turfgrass and Landscape Supply. Again, sodding South Carolina 1 square foot at a time. 803-446-6525. Again, that's 803-446-6525. Again, if you give them a phone call and you mention you heard it right here with Bill Gunner and Preston Thorne, you will get a mulch discount. So give them a phone call, 803-446-6525. And to Preston's point, Michael weighs in and says, Preston, I laid sod on a golf course for 3 summers. It convinced me to go to college.
Man, me and you, sir. I did it for 1 summer, and I was like, you know what? I need to take these classes seriously.
So with all that in mind,
hire a professional.
Hire Carolina Turfgrass and Landscape Supply. Give them a phone call, 803.
Between the squares or rolling, oh my gosh.
It's a life.
And I was in tip-top condition when I was doing
to be honest,
and it broke me.
That's almost something that every child should have to do 1 summer to learn the value of what is hard manual labor. I've laid sod for our family like it did when we've done it before. And then when everybody gets hot and you're laying sod, and one family member doesn't roll it correctly to line up, yeah, you know, Preston's rolling his eye. He knows. 803-446-6525. Contact Carolina Turf, Grass, and Landscape Supply. Don't do it yourself. They're sodding South Carolina 1 square foot at a time. You can also order LexingtonLandscapeSupply.com is how you can do that. We'll come back on the other side. Roll along here on your Thursday morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, and she is Jen Jensen.
Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway, still a slowdown there because of a tractor trailer in the road. So might want to map out an alternate route if possible there at Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway. Bush River Road near St. Andrews Road, have an accident there. Also Cushman Drive at Faro. Highway 1 near Clemson Road, working on getting that cleaned up, as well as an accident I-20 eastbound at Broad River Road. Looking pretty good out there for today. Sunny, 89 will be our high. Then we hit 87 tomorrow as the clouds start to roll in advance of the showers and storms that we're expecting throughout the weekend off and on. But we'll enjoy today and tomorrow while we can. 65 right now on the early game.
$8:20 as we roll along here on your Thursday morning. Coming up here in a few minutes, it'll be time for our Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge, where looky, my best buddy, second best buddy behind Preston Thorne, Denny Hamlin, with the win last week in Dover. They head to Kansas this weekend, and then it is off. Or here, I should say, it shouldn't be off. It's here to Darlington on Mother's Day. So we will talk about preparations for that. We'll talk about Kansas, and we will talk about that Dover race where Denny Hamlin hung on and defeated Kyle Larson, coming up in the next segment with our good buddy Josh Harris, Reggie Anderson, and I battling it out at the top as we have pretty much every year. 43 points for me, 39 for him. Josh now with 32 points. Preston slipping a little bit, falling behind, 31 points. Yeah. And Jen making a little bit of a push, getting up there with 30 right now. But when Jen brought in the sheet, I think yesterday, and Preston kind of was like, ooh, not good. As Jen said, and I can attest to after last year, it's early. It's still very, very, very early.
All my goals are still in front of us.
All your goals. Nothing has changed. Jen could make a run last year. Again, I might ask Jen to see if we can pull that back up just to look how far behind Reggie was, like in early June, mid-June, I think, early June. He was not performing well, and then he flat out took off and collected his trophy. So 803-404-6100 if you want to wait.
Where is that trophy, by the way?
It's at my house.
I think there's a little ego there because, I said, hey, why don't you take it to get engraved this year? Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
I need to do that.
3 months it's been sitting in his house. So I think there's an ego thing where he likes having the trophy there, even though he didn't win it last year.
We need to. So I need to get it because with our stream, where you can, again, go to our live stream, the Game TV Radio. Glad you bring that up. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. You can, again, go to YouTube, the Game TV Radio. We have better cameras to show off the trophy.
So you can display it, exactly.
To display it. So
it is a good-looking trophy.
Maybe put a little table back behind us. But, yes, we need to do that. So I will get on that.
There's nothing we about it. It's the pronoun is I, as in you should say I.
When you are once again leading the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag, whatever. That works too. I will get it taken care of. 803-404-6100. Preston, Colorado, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. Here, the question I have, does Colorado fans care enough to be paying attention to what is happening here?
They told us they cared enough. They told us we're supposed to care enough. That's what his whole shtick is that he's going to bring relevance and care to this place. And I guess they're here, but I don't know if it. My question is, does Colorado fans not see the future? Because it's becoming, if it wasn't clear, it should be becoming very clear that this man is going to ruin your program for the sake of his own son's beneficial in the future.
I have an opinion on that. I'll ask you, why do you, because I see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
how do you see this? How do you see Deion Sanders and Colorado and even Shedeur Sanders playing out?
Best case scenario, Shedeur Sanders has a successful season. He gets drafted. Deion leaves after next year. Worst case scenario, Shedeur Sanders, Colorado's struggling because they're not a very good team, and Shedeur Sanders comes up with a leg.
Comes up with a leg?
Or a back. Or arm. And he doesn't finish the season. And he sits out to get himself prepared for the NFL. That's worst case scenario.
I hadn't thought about that scenario. I hadn't thought about that. And the reason I say that is because I think he also knows, Shedeur Sanders does, that he's doing this for daddy. Like with a great season.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that he sits out. I'm saying daddy sits him out.
I don't know if, I don't, the honest question on this is, what is Deion Sanders' long-term, now that he's actually had to get into college coaching? Nothing against Jackson State, but let's be honest, NIL and everything. Deion Sanders was the prime attraction at Jackson State. Deion Sanders was. Well, now, when Travis Hunter went there, he knew what he was getting into. He was leaving Florida State to go play for Deion Sanders. Now, the Deion Sanders name as a recruiting tool doesn't work quite as well because Colorado's not doing the. Deion's basically been, hey, we'll do some NIL, but that's not what I'm into. I wonder what his long-term goal is. Does he want to keep coaching? Because my personal opinion, to go back to this, the way I see this playing out is Deion Sanders this will be his last year at Colorado.
We are seeing eye to eye, sir.
His son will head to the NFL. Shedeur will head to the NFL. Travis Hunter will head to the NFL. And to go back to what you just said, the way Deion has done this transfer portal and aligned this roster, Colorado is going to be an absolute dumpster fire after this year. Whoever gets that job, I just cannot see Deion sticking around after Shedeur Sanders is gone.
He has no interest. He can say it all. He can say everything that he wants. We can build it. He sold the vision, and everybody was there. It was fun for a couple of games last year. It's going to happen. Like I said, best case scenario, they finish 4-8 or whatever this year, and Shedeur finishes the season unhealthy, which hopefully for him he finishes healthy. But if there is a slight hint of danger in Shedeur Sanders' season this year, the head coach, his daddy, will step in, protect his son and his son's future, and put that over the program's future. Mark it down. Preston's word on it.
Yeah, I'll be interested. By the way, Colorado's schedule, they will open on a Thursday night against North Dakota State. Then they get that rematch where they travel.
Who scheduled that?
You don't want no part of North Dakota State, do you?
No, those dudes run 3 fullbacks. They run the Maryland Eye with you. Do not want. Oh no!
At Nebraska, at
What?
Colorado State. That's their first 3.
That's clearly the worst scheduling of the year.
Then it's Big 12 time. Baylor.
You know when they say, "Oh, you don't want to play App State,"
Right.
Well, that's not really true. You really don't want to play North Dakota State. They beat people up every year. Oh man, mark it down. Take that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then that's the question. They lose to North Dakota State. Does that, because North Dakota State lost in the championship to Montana last year in double overtime.
Every year they either win or lose in the division.
So, so that's Thursday. Is Deion Sanders still coaching on Labor Day? We might want to keep an eye on that as we get closer.
Countdown.
We'll see if we can get back into it. Deion and his son now tweeting at Xavier Smith.
What a clown.
Not. And then one of the Colorado receivers posted a video that somehow magically he obtained of him getting the better of Xavier Smith in practice last spring. It's something. 803-404-6100. We'll try and revisit that. Coming up next, though, it is the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. Josh Harris will join us, and we will make some picks. You're listening to the early game. So many countdowns taking place, but one that you really need to pay attention to is the one coming up a week from Sunday, Mother's Day. And you need to make sure mom is happy this Mother's Day. And you can do that by cleaning the house for her. Except I've got a hack for you. You can call the pros at Zerorez. Mom won't have to lift a finger this Mother's Day. Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct will get her home insanely clean, and they'll use the best ingredient, ZR water technology, scientifically proven to clean better than detergents with zero residue left behind. So make that phone call and line up a clean house for mom on Mother's Day today. 803-262-4020. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. You can also schedule online, zerorezcolumbia.com. Again, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Zerorez, spelled backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
And looking out on the highways this morning, we see still a couple things that are in the works. Bush River Road near St. Andrews Road. Also Cushman at Faro. Forest Drive near I-77. Also I-20 eastbound at Broad River Road, an accident there. I-20 eastbound at Spears Creek Church Road. And Monticello Road near I-20. Also, still an obstruction on the highway. There's a trailer blocking the roadway right there at Highway 302 at Columbia Airport Expressway. That forecast looking nice. Going to be sunny today, looking for a high of 89, 87 tomorrow. Drop to the low 80s for the weekend with showers and storms, but it's warming up. Sunny, 65 right now in the early game.
Taking that air away from Kyle Larson. Did a good job with it there.
But Larson's closing. Larson got the drive off the corner. He's got it down to 2 car lengths. Final corner. Larson up high. Hamlin right in the middle of the racetrack takes the air off Larson's nose and wins the Worth 400. 54th career win for Denny Hamlin, tying Lee Petty for 12th on the all-time list.
If you're watching our live stream, I'm smiling just like Denzel Washington did in Training Day when he said, "My man, my man." Yeah. Yeah. And you know the reason I had Denny Hamlin last week? Y'all know the reason, right? Yes? No?
Somebody else had taken another pick of yours or something?
Yes, our man joining us, Josh Harris, took Ross Chastain, who I was so prepared to take, so I was forced to go with a backup. Thank you, Mr. Harris, and welcome in on a...
So it's not that you know anything about NASCAR. You're freely admitting now it's luck.
There is no doubt an element of luck, but when you're... How are you doing this morning, Mr. Harris? How are things going down in Darlington?
I'm doing great. Just I was interested to see how this phone call was going to open up today. I saw a little bit of your reaction on Twitter after the race on Monday, and so I was looking forward to this. But yeah, I was trying to think. I knew that I felt like at the end of that call, since you were picking last, it was like, oh well, everybody took my pick, so I guess I'll just take Hamlin again. You know, so congratulations. You know, he's on a roll, and you're picking him at the right time for sure.
I give you you have figured out the system here very quickly. 2 months, essentially. 2.5 months. You have figured out 3 months, I guess. You have figured out how this phone call goes. You have figured out the system. Very, very happy for you. Real quick, let's get into it here. We've been joking. Countdowns going on. My birthday's tomorrow. Preston's counting down to the start of football season and the start of the start of Columbia not having students wandering the streets and getting in front of cars. The countdown for Darlington is on. You were in the home stretch, if you will. How are things down there?
We're great. Getting real excited. A lot of activity around the track over the last week or so. And we open up campgrounds on Tuesday. So just a few days away, we'll be welcoming fans. And then, a week from tomorrow night, we've got the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the Buckle Up South Carolina 200. So it's right here at our doorstep.
One other thing you've got coming up a week from today, actually, from 12 to 6 p.m., you'll have a blood drive with the American Red Cross of South Carolina. The blood drive to support the state of South Carolina. South Carolina will be held in front of Darlington Raceway Stock Car Museum. Members of the community down there wanting to donate blood will need to sign up. You can go to redcrossblood.org and use the sponsor code Darlington Raceway. So just another good thing you've got coming up next week as you kind of get things going, along with track laps on the exact same day.
Yeah, so Thursday is going to be a big day before we actually hit the track with the race cars. Encourage everybody in the region, come out, donate blood, and then stick around and do our track laps for charity at 6:30 to 8 o'clock. $25. You get 3 laps around the track. And I think it's one of our cool ones we get to do because, all the preparations for race weekend are pretty much set. So it's a little bit of a different environment, a little bit of a different vibe than just some of our other Saturday track laps in the rest of the year. So I'm excited for it. I think we'll have a big crowd. Our our fans that are in town for the race weekend. It gives them a chance to come out and do a track lap. So going to be a fun day, packed day with a lot going on Thursday.
And just one important note, if you want to do the track laps, and this is why Jen Jensen is not allowed to do it, there is no passing of other vehicles on the track. That is not permitted, and violators, Jen Jensen, will be removed from the track. So if you're thinking about getting out there,
Never passed anybody.
passing someone, swapping a little paint, don't do that. So, but that's all. For more information on that, go to darlingtonraceway.com.
It is fun to do. It really is.
Yeah, you can click on the events tab at the top, darlingtonraceway.com, and check that out. I want to ask you real quick on this because I'll admit I don't quite understand. I'll let you and Jen get into this. Michael Jordan telling the New York Times that NASCAR's unwillingness to create permanent charters for Cup teams is a big, big miss, and that if they do not correct that, the sport's going to die, not because of the competition aspect, but because economically it does not make sense for any business people. Let me start with you, Josh, and your thoughts on Michael Jordan weighing in on this, and then get Jen's thoughts.
Well, the negotiations between NASCAR and the teams, I'll just be honest, that's way above my level, and I just kind of sit back and wait to see what's going to happen. The France family, Steve Phelps, they're handling those discussions, and I think, in any sort of negotiation, you're going to have two different sides. There's going to be the perspective of NASCAR, the perspective of the team owners, and everything I've heard from our leadership team is they feel confident they'll get a deal done before the end of the year. Where that all nets out, we'll wait and see. But I think it's certainly a topic that's getting a lot of discussion right now. The team owners are, I would say, being more vocal in the media about it. So, but aside from that, I don't have really any inside knowledge or know really what is truth and what might be a little bit of bargaining.
Jen, anything on your end?
No, I'm kind of with him. It's kind of above my pay grade as far as things with the sport. I think it helped a little bit with the economics when they had the cars are now provided by NASCAR. You're purchasing from them and everything. So it kind of helped with the parity, and smaller teams can get in a little bit easier. But as far as going to everything with the charters, that's just a whole bunch of stuff.
Again, it is the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. Again, I'm in the lead right now, but as we all learned last year, that is really irrelevant when you start the month of May. It's who's in the lead as we round out October. Again, thank you to Corley Pool Solutions. They believe in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you and your family. Line up your maintenance package today, 803-445-8109. Let's make some picks. And Jen, we're heading to Kansas, 3 o'clock, FS1 on Sunday. Where are we going first?
You know what? I'm just going to kind of make it real easy. I'm going Kyle Larson.
It's a good pick. That is actually the favorite according to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
That brings us to Preston, who's slipped a little. Preston was rolling along. Preston, who are you going with?
Give me Truex Jr.
Truex Jr. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. That brings us to Mr. Harris. Josh, where are you heading this week?
Well, my first two picks are off the board.
Oh,
so,
there you go.
You know what? I was going to save this pick for next week, but let's go ahead and go with William Byron.
Oh, nice. He needs a better week for sure.
That was actually my pick. All right. How about Reggie? Where is Reggie going with this?
Reggie would be Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott. Okay. Thankfully, this is live radio, and I'm fully prepared.
That's a first.
I can't see him do it. This is normally, you're right. Again, Mr. Harris has figured out the program. He's figured out exactly how this goes. This is normally when somebody takes my pick and Denny Hamlin is sitting there, normally I go with Denny Hamlin. I did like Kyle Larson. He would have been my backup. Mm-hmm. William Byron was my first pick. They're both off the board. Give me Tyler Reddick. This week.
He's got potential this week. He does well at Kansas.
Josh, next week it won't be a phone interview. We will be seeing you live and in person next Friday when we're down there, and we look forward to it.
I can't wait. Good luck. Looking forward to seeing you, and good luck to everyone at Kansas this weekend. And can't wait for Throwback Weekend kicking off next Friday.
Get your tickets.
Definitely do it. Yep, darlingtonraceway.com. Again, don't forget about track laps for charity and the blood drive. Both of them coming up on Thursday, a week from today. Blood drive 12 to 6 there in front of the Darlington Raceway Museum, and the track laps for charity 6:30 to 8. You can get more information on that. Go to darlingtonraceway.com. Josh, have a great week. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Sounds good.
Take care. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up. It'll be the final time you'll hear me before I turn 42. It's the early game. Bill Gunner for Mid-State Roofing. Again, for nearly 30 years, Larry Leitner, Mid-State Roofing, the family there, they've been the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Mid-State Roofing's proven history, that's your assurance that their professionals will provide proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility. And let's be honest, not a lot of us know about roofing. That's probably not something that you really understand. So you need to go to professionals. You need to use someone who is an expert, who is a proven leader in the industry, and that is exactly who Mid-State Roofing is. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're ready to put you in a maintenance contract and make sure you're ready for the summer. When we get those heavy rains, those hail thunderstorms that come in, call Mid-State Roofing today, 803-356-1919. You'll speak with an on-call technician after hours or a Mid-State Roofing member during hours. Again, that's 803-356-1919. If you've got a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek. Bill Gunner for the Ecton Law Firm. You need to call today and get a free consultation if you are having tax troubles. If they've been weighing you down, if they've been stressing you out, you know what? John Ecton and his team, they're ready to help you. So call for a free consultation, 803-771-9800. Whether it's here in Columbia, whether it's in Florence, whether it's in Myrtle Beach, the Ecton Law Firm understands the challenges you are facing. That's why John Ecton and his team are ready to offer you the peace of mind that you deserve. They have a proven local team with solutions that have helped thousands of families and businesses just like yours escape the IRS maze. And let's be honest, again, that's a whole other thing that a lot of us are not very familiar with. Use somebody who's a professional. Use John Ecton and his team. Call today for a free consultation. 803-771-9800. Call the Ecton Law Firm. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you. 8:49 as we wrap it up. I'm out tomorrow. Elijah Campbell and Preston Thorne will get you through, Jen Jensen, as we wrap up one countdown tomorrow. The countdown to birthday number 42 will commence, and we'll focus more on Preston's countdown to getting the students that wander around the streets. I'll say this, my opinion. Preston, the university has changed since you and I were in school.
Drastically.
Students, when we leave here at 9 a.m., seeing them walk from where we are at on Gervais Street, walking from what I label more, going toward Elmwood and Main Street. The university, I mean, back when I was here, you either lived on campus or kind of lived out toward Casey. Some of the people lived in 5 Points, but man, you're right about the students wandering the streets to head to class. There's a lot more students walking than definitely 20 years ago when we were in.
No, the word was wandering. You said it right.
Okay.
That's the proper word. Walking may not be the wandering.
Well,
somehow it's caught between their phone and real life, figuring out where to go. It's not a recipe for.
But it's not their fault.
Well, it will.
I'm being sarcastic. Trust me.
Yeah. That'll be, of course, we will have the big countdown to next weekend, Mother's Day. Also, obviously, Darlington, and again, we'll be down there broadcasting live as we did last year. Really cool experiences. We are missing our girl Peyton, who helped us so much the last 2 trips, get down there and get set up. She was a big Kansas fan, so we won't be able to discuss Bill Self and the lifetime contract and all that stuff with her. But
she's actually working with one of the drivers, rookie driver, Zane Smith.
Okay.
So she's doing PR for him. So, good opportunity for her. I hope he starts doing a little bit better, because I'm sure that the spinning the yarn for that might be a little challenging at times. But, she's, I think, living the life.
And after that, we'll focus on Jen's countdown. We'll give her all the attention for a few weeks. 26 days, Preston, let's see, what have I got here? 7, 14, 21, 22. It's on Sunday, the 26th. We have 24 days until Jen is in her extreme happy place there at Indianapolis for the great event there on Memorial Day. Let me ask you this real quick. I want to get back to this. Rodney weighed in and said Colorado will not have a bad season. I believe Dion will leave and come to the SEC. I think he says this year, mark it. I think he means next year after this year. But, Colorado's over-under win total that I'm looking at right now, a couple different places have it, but it is set basically by FanDuel, who I'll use, at 4.5. You taking the over-under on that? You willing to go with that? Let me real quick. North Dakota State, Nebraska, at Colorado, Baylor, at UCF, Kansas State, at Arizona, Cincinnati, at Texas Tech, Utah, at Kansas, and then wrapping up the season with Oklahoma State.
Yeah, the end of that schedule is pretty rough. Objectively, it really all depends on Shedeur. And as I said, I'm not convinced that if things get a little bit tight with Shedeur, that Dion will not pull him to protect his future and put his son's future above the organization.
If they are 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, and if they lose to Central Florida, I'm just ballparking this, September 28th, is Shedeur Sanders done with college football going into October?
That's a solid line.
Possibly.
Especially if he starts putting up those sack numbers that they put up last year. It's a very real possibility.
South Carolina last night, 15-2 over East Tennessee State. Exactly what they needed to do last night. Kennedy Jones again playing very well for them. Cole Messina obviously with a good night last night. Ethan Petrie again performing very well. Kennedy Jones, by the way, last night 4 RBIs. Preston Thorne 4 RBIs.
Kennedy's been balling.
We didn't mention him earlier, but he led the team in RBIs last night. Keep an eye on him as we go into the Missouri series. I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll say huge series for them. They need to win 2 of 3.
Yeah, you got to win this series. Missouri's struggling. They're probably about ready to pack it in. Go ahead and make them. Go ahead and assist them in letting them know that your season's over. There's no life here. Let us take these wins.
And again, continue to move up. If you didn't hear us earlier, or if you haven't seen it, D1Baseball.com put out their field of 64 projections yesterday. South Carolina projected as a 10 seed, so well inside of the top 16 and a good run down the stretch, and that means not losing this weekend series. You put yourself in position for a super regional. That'd be great.
Would that be enough?
Just keep letting Mark Kingston cook. Just keep letting him. Y'all have a great day tomorrow.
Yes,
I know
sir.
I'm going to have a great day tomorrow.
I heard it's his birthday, so happy birthday.
42 tomorrow, Preston.
Congratulations,
42, Jen. Y'all have a great weekend. Preston and Jen will talk to you tomorrow.